So if you're like me, you're super fucking excited for Attack on Titan season 4. I know I've been waiting for this literally for years, ever since the season 4 content started coming out, and it completely wowed me. It like far surpasses Return to Shiganshina, like season 3 part 2, just by leagues and miles, and it continuously gets better as it goes on, in my opinion. I know that a lot of people really, really got a bit surprised, maybe got a bit of whiplash from just the way that it started, because it starts in such an interesting way. It starts in such an unexpected way. And so I wanted to make this little retrospective of what's happened in the manga so far. It's something for if you really want to know what happens, because you just gotta know like where all of this is going. If you want this sort of sneak peek, want to spoil yourself a bit, or maybe you're just a manga reader, looking for a fun little retrospective. Like that's what this video is about. I really just want to nerd out about how much I love what's about to happen. So far with season 4, we've had the big fight at Fort Slava, and then we've had some stuff over in Liberia, some sort of downtime, planning what's going to happen next. And that there's this festival being set up. Well, we spend a little time with Reiner like we have, and that quickly transitions to some time with Falco. He's trying to surpass Gabby so that he can inherit the Armored Titan instead of her. That was established last episode. And he's having a lot of trouble, but then he meets... he doesn't meet... He's actually already met this person. It's this injured war vet, the person who he helped out with the armband. He meets him in the hospital again, and this person gives Falco a lot of advice that helps him keep going and keep trying to surpass Gabby. And it really couldn't be more obvious that this person is actually Eren. And so it's like, oh god, people from, over in Parody are in Marley. What are they planning? Well, the festival. The Tiber family is this really influential family that is influential in world politics despite being Eldians, because they're apparently the ones who drove King Fritz out and, drove him away to Parody in the Great Titan War. They have this whole play, this demonstration showing how, actually, we made a deal with King Fritz because King Fritz really wanted people to stop living in fear of the Titans, so he intentionally lost, and he's been living in Parody, intentionally not causing anything, and we, the Tibers, have just been, living on unearned glory this whole time. And the reason he's going about all this and describing all of this is so he can describe that, but the royal family who's been protecting us all from the Titans, they got usurped by Eren Yeager. And so now we're painting Eren Yeager as this big villain, and they're trying to unite the whole world against Eren. However, at this point, Eren shows up and he attacks the festival along with the rest of the forces of Parody, like, the 104th, Levi, Hanji, all of them. Eren and Mikasa defeat Willy, who's actually the 9th Titan, Willy Tiber, the person who's leading the whole thing. He was the 9th Titan, the Warhammer Titan, capable of creating anything out of hardening. Like, he creates a crossbow at some point and, fires at Mikasa. Sasha and Jean lead a fight against the Cart Titan, Peak, the cute girl who showed up last episode. Armin blows up the harbor and, causes a bunch of collateral damage that he, angsts over. And Levi dies, taking down the Beast Titan once and for all. They all leave on this getaway blimp, but Gabby manages to actually sneak onto it and kills Sasha with a gun. And she does this to get revenge for Sasha actually killing some of her family during the attack. Falco, Udo, and Zofia follow her up, and all 4 of them get detained. All of that was absolutely great. Like, the festival fight, one of the best fights in the series, but it just gets better from here. See, they return to Parody, and we get these flashbacks describing what happened in the last 4 years. They built a port to try to get to the mainland, where they tried to do some diplomacy, tried to find nations who are sympathetic to the Eldians, and they found one country, Hizuru, who wanted to trade with them. They gave them money and resources and technology in exchange for Iceburst Stone, which is this special super powerful fuel that they used to make ODM gear work. But progress is slow moving, and Hizuru is kind of using business savvy to fuck them over on a bunch of the deals. And, it's clear that they're really just in it for themselves. And the clock starts ticking until Marley is going to invade them again. So they go over to Marley to attack them and strike fear into both them and all of the countries that joined in the festival, because it was supposed to be for a bunch of world leaders where everyone was going to unite under Willie. You know, it was like, hey, everyone in the world, like, join me in attacking Parody. But then Parody attacked them and just scared them all shitless. We go back to present day, and Eren is using the threat of the Rumbling in order to financially exploit all of the nations of the world, essentially extorting money from them and forcing them to buy from Parody at extreme prices. They start selling Iceburst Stone and ODM gear to nations opposed to Marley and begin pulling the strings of a massive world war that they financially profit from. At this point, the story kind of splits into two halves. On one half, you have Reiner and the other remaining warriors dealing with this world war, and Marley losing more and more territory in what parallels the fall of Wall Maria from the beginning of the story. Meanwhile, on Parody, whatever you call it, the island becomes rich. Most people absolutely love the new wealth they have and all the new job opportunities, but some people morally object to the new economic policies, and certain social groups are left out to dry, like the people in the underground. So there's a lot of opposition. However, Eren starts a sort of shadow police force to maintain order and keep this whole house of cards up. I say shadow police, but it comes off more as a gang, and everything sort of takes the tone of The Godfather. There's this 5-year time skip over which Gabby, Falco, Udo, and Zofia work with Sasha's parents, of all people, to make a rival gang called the Children of the Forest, which most of the 104th cadets, except for Mikasa, join. There's like 6 chapters that's mostly just them getting into anti-personnel gears, shootouts, and trying to interfere with Eren's underground trade of Ackerman's spinal fluid, which has become a popular and addictive stimulant and performance enhancer. Then there's this weird subplot that lasts like 2 chapters, which sort of is a love story between Jean and Mikasa, where they're trying to keep her from giving Eren all of her spinal fluid. And Jean and her have this heart-to-heart. It ends up in this emotionally charged fist fight. And then there's like 15 barely censored pages of them getting it on Tokyo Ghoul style. From this, Mikasa actually gets pregnant and basically taken out of the story. Like, for the rest of the story, she's just been like sitting around pregnant, and it seems like they're setting up to something clever with it, but it hasn't happened yet. We're nearing the end of the series, but nothing's really been done, though it looks like something's about to be done. It's a really controversial thing in the story. But anyways, over in Marley, they figure out a really weird way to stop Parody's plan, and it's a little complicated. It sort of turns into an economic thriller, but I'll try my best to explain it. Basically, they have a lot of Zeke's spinal fluid, and as per his royal blood, if someone ingests it, they get comatose and will transform when Zeke screams. That's what you saw in episode 1 of season 4, with the Titan Rain. However, Zeke's not there, so it seems useless. It just knocks people, comatose. However, they dilute it so much that it instead becomes a drug along the lines of an opiate that you can recover from the effects of, but it's very addictive, and they leak it into Parody as a new underground product. And it starts fucking up with the higher-ups who love taking it. And it leaves them less capable as leaders, and this also works because Eren's Ackermelk scheme just fell through because of Jean's dick. They use the lessened attentiveness of the Parody military force to sneak into the country and steal the trade secrets of ODM gear. They find ways to mass-produce ODM gear and sell them for cheaper, as well as making a fuel which they could run on that doesn't require Iceburst Stone, albeit less efficiently. They then leak this via a non-Marleyan company and sell it to their enemies, all while using the money they get from those sales to buy up conventional non-Titan weaponry. Now, they are stocking up on non-Titan military force while all of their enemies are buying anti-Titan gear en masse, which gives them the edge in the war, which they can use to fight back and retake their territory. At the same time, Parody lost the monopoly on their best exports, and their stock prices are plummeting. Civil unrest breaks from the economic downturn. Eren gets put in the shit machine, and he transforms, and his gang does another military coup. Everyone from the Children of the Forest fight to stop him. Gabby cuts him out of his Titan using ODM gear, and what parallels how he took out Bertold, and she gets in this fist fight with him. And each time they trade blows, Gabby gets this weird path moment, where she communicates with Reiner from across the world, and he's having like a similar fight against another nation and is close to dying, and this bullshit happens. It turns out Amir Fritz the whole time was Gabby from this moment influencing the past, creating a stable time loop, and the Founding Titan gets transferred from Eren to Reiner, and he was earlier using Zeke's spinal fluid to ease the pain of his crippling depression, so he unlocks the full power of the Founding Titan and uses it to win the fight. Seeing the destruction it caused, though, he goes to the bottom of the ocean and falls asleep while crystallizing himself to hide the power of the Founding Titan from those who'd use it for wrong. Gabby kills Eren and they save Parody Island and bring freedom to it, but Floch and some others escape to Marley, where Floch starts a presidential bid in the upcoming election, completely faking his identity along with his VP, Luis, who is this girl Mikasa saved in episode 6, if you remember that. It's episode 6 of season 1. He runs on the platform of finding the Founding Titan and using it to erect a giant wall to protect Marley from invaders, because of the whole war going on. Magath, like, you know, Commander Magath, who actually turns out to be like a really cool guy who likes Eldians, runs against him with Armin as his VP to get the Eldian. All right, Eldians can vote now, but they're only like worth 3/5 of a vote. The explanation was kind of forced, kind of rushed. Anyways, there's a bunch of crazy bullshit as they try to win so that Floch can't get the resources to find Reiner. Because, you know, that's what'll happen if he wins. And something crazy happens. Magath beats Floch in a manner that not only was foreshadowed heavily from the start of the story, but directly parallels the result of the 2020 American presidential election and was written a few days before the election. Paths! After that, Floch manages to find Reiner anyways, breaks in with a female Titan who he ate earlier in the story, and then gets the Founding Titan. He then instigates the rumbling, and the whole world seems to be fucked. And that's what happened last chapter. And just, oh god, who knows where it's gonna go from here? Thanks for listening, because this was so fun to nerd out about. And make sure you subscribe, because I'm going to be making reviews for the upcoming episodes of the show to see how faithful they are to this manga I've grown to love so much. Hopefully they don't change too much.